Tanga, suede heads. Right, this is a tag, another tag. Don't you love them? This is a good tag though. This isn't the usual bollocks. This is one that was started by Chris from Rekkid Talk. And Chris always does something about 45s. And he's done a little quiz. Not quiz, it's 9 prompts, about 7 inches, so. And you always want to see my 7 inches, don't you, Chris? I had a PE teacher at school like that. Right, what's the number one? Show a number one record. What could be simpler, Chris? Good starter. I'll show a nice English one. That makes it a bit more interesting, doesn't it? So, Hoots Mon by Lord Rockingham's 11. And I can pretty safely say that probably wasn't a hit anywhere else in the world, but in number one for 3 weeks in England. So there you have it. Marvellous. Now, show a record that came out when you were a teenager. Okay, so recognise this one? This marvellous logo from Charlie Records. This is Crazy Cavern. And this came out in '76, which is when I bought it, and I was 13. So I was buying a lot of records at 13, believe me. Right, now, favourite artist. Very easy. I picked this one out because it's got a little story attached to it. Little Willie John, obviously, subscribers to my channel will know that this is my favourite singer of all time, Little Willie John. This is a lovely English copy, as you can see, on the lovely Parlophone label. Parlophone was just, oh my God, what a tremendous label it was in the 50s. Not only did you get the Goons and all that sort of stuff, but you got the King Federal label. So not only Little Willie, but Bill Doggett, James Brown, Hank Ballard and the Midnighters, you know, all that stuff. So really tremendous. And as you can see, this is absolutely mint, this record. And I found it in Florida, in a place, I think it was St. Pete, which is St. Petersburg. It's attached to Tampa. They have a big Salvador Dali museum there for some reason. About 80 or 90 Dali paintings. Anyway, so there's this place called Bananas, and it's a warehouse of records. I think they've got 4 million records, and 99% of them are absolute garbage, and it's very overpriced. But I went in there in the 90s. I only went there once, but I spent a day looking through the 45s, and they really didn't have much, but I found that in there. Little Willie John, which I'm very pleased about because it's absolutely mint condition. And so I took it, none of the records had prices on. So I thought, here we go. So I took it up to the counter, a right dummy behind the counter, and I showed it to him, and he goes, well, that's the reissue, it's going to have to be $10. And I went, which is really overpriced back then, because a reissue, you know, 45 really was like a couple of bucks, you know, tops. So he thought he was really stitching me up by charging me $10. So I said, oh, okie dokie. So I gave him the money, and then I put it away safely. I said, see that guide on the shelf behind your head? And he had one of the record collector guides, you know, which has all the English releases in. I said, yeah, if you have a look in there, you can look up the Parlophone label. There's a very obscure beat folk combo on Parlophone called the Beatles, and some of their records are collectible, but the ones that are very collectible are the ones that came out before them on the lovely said Parlophone label, and you can look them up and see what the values are. I just left him with that, you know, because he must have gone through it and thought, oh God. But, you know, there's a lesson to be learnt there, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? You don't know more than Madam Sin, and, you know, just be nice. Simple as that, isn't it? Right, next one. A record from 2025. Now, Chris, you know I don't buy any modern records. I haven't bought any modern records since I'd probably think Mazzy Stars. Probably Mazzy Star or Kendra Smith around that time, and the Gun Club. That's the sort of last records I bought. So I'm going to show you a record I bought in 2025. And this is the lovely Tenors, lovely Rocksteady one on Dr. Bird that I got. So I have a little pictures at that. So obviously that didn't come out then. Came out in the 60s, of course, but that's one I bought anyway. That was my buy of the year, that was. Then we have another question, number 5, that I couldn't answer. Probably something to do with modern records. Oh no, I know. Record Store Day. Something to do with Record Store Day, which is an abomination, and I will not support it in any way because I despise the record industry. I hope that's made my feelings clear on that. And so what I've got, Chris, is a lovely private pressing from the 1960s. And this is a freak beat group called the Saxons. Look at the marvellous hot rod on the cover. And this was put out by them when they were at Exeter University. And it is highly collectible. And it doesn't come up for sale. So, I thought you'd like to see that, Chris. This is a very rare one. Right, moving on. A 45 that plays at 78. Oh, you're going to like this one, mate, I tell you. Because look at this. Look at this little thing. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a 5-inch single that plays at 78 RPM. Isn't that just exquisite? That really is an artifact. And of course, because it's a Madame Sin artifact, it has the original company sleeve, which just makes it even better, doesn't it? And the kids used to rip these up and throw them away. So believe me when I say that these company sleeves are among the rarest. Right. So there you go. Crisp 78 Northern Soul. Well, for Northern Soul, because let's face it, no one even knows what, well, the Yanks don't know what Northern Soul is, do they? Let's face it. And there aren't many English people in the BC. I can think that collect Northern Soul. There probably are. You're going to correct me now. You're going to say, I collect Northern Soul. Look at my name, Northern Soul Man. And, you know, fair enough. But I'm going to just pick a real classic. Because even John, right, 6-inch, who's into the soul and funk, he doesn't like Northern Soul, do you, John? So there you have it. So you won't be showing this one, will you? NF Porter, keep on keeping on. NF, of course, very unusual initials for a black man, but it's actually, is it Neville? I think his name's Neville, or it might be Nathan. Can't remember. Anyway, NF Porter, keep on keeping on, Northern Soul classic. And if you like watching Northern Soul dancing, there's some really smashing kids who have the Bristol Northern Soul Club online, and they do all the old moves and everything. It's really great. It's like these young kids who do it. It's really fantastic to watch. So if you like watching a bit of Northern Soul dancing, go and check out the Bristol Northern Soul Club. Right, next one. A foreign one. Well, that's easy, because that's going to be a Dutch one for me. The Q65. And their Flower Power anthem, I Despise You. I love that. It's so great. That is unequivocally, or that word, anyway, you know the word. Really just, I despise you. I mean, it's just tremendous. He really does sound like he despises the person he's singing it about. But have a look on the back, and you can see those lovely albums. Can you see those small faces, them, and there's another Q65 up there. Is that Stones? And Crispin St. Peter's, because they're a Decca group. Right, so Q65 for the foreign one, and then a bootleg. Right, this is a series of bootlegs that my friend did on Jamaican R&B records. And these were all 50s Jamaican tunes that often came out on 78, so you couldn't get them on 45 anyway. And he's got like a killer on each side. So on that one you've got Rosalie and Donnell, Shame on You. And then on the other side he's got the Cox and Dodd theme. Tab Smith, My Mother's Eyes. Doug, you'll know that. Fat City Doug, you'll know that tune. But I once played that on a reggae station, and they told me to take it off because they didn't know what it was, and they just thought it was like, I don't know, Bing Crosby or something. I have no idea. But anyway, so there you have it, Chris. 9 prompts on 45s, and that was a good one to do, mate. And I wonder how many people take that up. I think a few will. Maybe no more than 6, but anyway, let's see. So, take care, see you soon.